Dr. Cam Ewan. Name is
Dave.
Dave, and where's your pain?
My shoulder and
Okay.
also lower back.
Okay, so your shoulder, when you lift your arm up, let's see, how far can you get it?
I can
Rotate or cuff, it hurts.
There, yeah, or especially back here.
Okay, so it's important to, get a baseline of where you're at so that you can see the quantitative, qualitative shift after. How long have you had it?
It's been about 9 months now.
9 months, okay. And you work with Judy, right?
Right.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a patent attorney.
You're a patent attorney. Okay, so
Lots
sometimes...
of sitting.
Lots of sitting, okay.
Okay, so your lower back and your shoulder, right? This shoulder.
Right.
Okay, so you have to make a comparison when you have two things. You want to know which is the weakest of the two. So it's really the lower back is the weaker than this one, right? So when you make a comparison of two things, it's simple, right? If you have to make a comparison of 100 things, well, then you put the 99 thing in one thing, and that would be one thing, right? So then you make the comparison. So your lower back is the number one weakness for him compared with the shoulder. So if I just do the shoulder, well, the lower back have to come first, okay? So the sequence is, I shouldn't say important, but you follow the right sequence, you actually achieve easier results, okay? So right now you have symptoms there?
Yes.
Okay. So people think they have the symptom is what they have, right? And you pay someone to tell you that's what you have, right? And then if they tell you what you have and it doesn't change you, that means that's not what you have, okay? Is that easy enough? That's like kindergarten thoughts, right? So we have to go back to kindergarten, right? So you have a PhD and you're out of luck, right? So you don't think like that, right? So this is no weakness here. So the sternum is the weakness, and I would just strengthen that, right? As soon as you find it, you strengthen it. Okay, the neck here in the back, the second weakness. The third is his forehead, right? So the three things weaken him, and it's really weakened by his grief, okay? So I could feel weakness. The weakness give you the answer, right? Is 1 and 0. So it's computer, right? So when I say grief, I would just ask you connect with something you grieve about in your whole life, right? It doesn't have to be last week or yesterday. Something you grieve about, right? You have that, right?
I have it.
Okay. So your life would be easier. You delete that, right? That's what it's all about. You strengthen it, you delete it. That's what the book would tell you to do, okay? Anyone could do it, all right? So, and I done it. It only take a second or two. And if I didn't talk, it would be even faster, right? So now think about your grief again. Does it still affect you compared with before?
It seems less.
Right, so it's different, right?
Yeah.
So you want yourself to confirm whether you got better or not, right? You're not just going to get enthusiastic about it and loving it more and motivated, inspired, and you forget about it, right? But it's still in there, right? So this way it's gone, right? So just from that, now, how's your lower back seem like to you compared before?
It doesn't hurt at all.
Okay, so anyone accept that? See, in the past, they don't accept that. You know, when I first start, they think I'm just kind of like bogus, right? Set this up, and people come up and say they got better, right? So it took me a while for other people to do it, and finally it's accepted, right? Otherwise, you think that you have to get therapy, right? That's so behind the times, right? You guys don't want to be behind the times, right? You don't need to touch anybody, and you don't even need to see them. They call you on the phone, right? I still do, a few patients, a few times a day. I mean, not a few times a week, from different parts of the world. They call me on Skype, and I give you their problem. You know that, right? So he's one of them. All right, now your shoulder, right? Okay, the shoulder, the first weakness is really come from the hip and come from the left chest, because you have to feel and make that comparison. And now you ought to be faster now, right? Because I make you as fast as planet Earth, right? And then this shoulder. Actually, you blamed the wrong shoulder, so it's really this shoulder, okay? And it's really frustration that weakens you, okay? You have frustration, or you give other people frustration, right? So you have frustration,
I
right?
think I have more than
Right. You could relate to
I
that,
hope.
right? You could
I
relate
don't
to
hope.
frustration, right?
Yes.
Okay. You connect with it, then you just, as soon as you connect with it, and that's the true answer, you can resolve it, right? If you got the wrong answer, not only the wrong answer not going to resolve the problem, make the problem worse, right? And if you pay someone to give you the wrong answer, it would be even 1,000 times worse. It could be 1,000,000 times worse, right? So don't pay anybody for the wrong answer, okay? Because the right answer resolves the problem right there and then, right? This is a kindergarten principle, right? The right answer resolves the problem, right? Don't tell me about anything else, okay? Now, raise your arm and see what it seemed like to you, okay? All right. So we all could do this, okay? So.
Thank you.